2, 1.
You got beer on your computer. Good job. Close the whole thing. Just everything turns off. delete.
Right, we're gonna redo that with sound effects. Welcome back, race fans, to episode number 5 of the Armchairs Racers podcast. I'm your host, Tommy Joe, alongside my co-host here,
Alex Reckless.
And this week we had Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Yay! That was my elbow. Man, Vegas. Definitely the least eventful race of the year. I could say that.
I don't think it was the worst race of the year.
What would you say is the worst race of the year so far? I mean, we're only 3 races in.
Daytona.
Really? You said, okay.
I'll just keep talking shit.
Fontana was definitely the best race.
I'll just keep talking shit on Super Speedway. So.
But how was your weekend?
It was good. I spent time with Mel, my partner. Yeah. Well, I had Friday off because it was so slow. We were expecting all that rain, and then it didn't happen.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Excuse me. So we actually spent some time together, and then Bonji came over on Sunday. Nick Bongiovanni.
Who's he?
Jersey Shore Nick.
Jersey Shore Bonji?
Jersey Shore Bonji.
Yeah. He's
on Instagram.
He's our like 5th member of Hot Lips.
It's 4th.
5th.
Okay. Anyway, he came over to do some, lay down some instrument tracks for his solo project, and while he was doing that, and I was just pressing stop and record, I had the Indy race and then the NASCAR race on. I didn't have to listen to Danica talk in the booth, but I was, I'd be listening to him, playing the guitar, and I'd just be watching, and then he'd stop, and he'd be like, okay, and I just...
Speaking of INDYCAR, we had the first triple header of the year. We had F1, INDYCAR, and NASCAR, all at different times. They weren't competing against each other.
I didn't even know F1. When was F1?
Was that Bahrain? I don't care about F1. I really don't. Max Verstappen. I mean, of course, I don't like F1. And the first race we're going to talk about is going to be F1 just to get it out of the way. But I mean, my thing with F1 is like it's a country club. It's an elitist country club, and
it's always been.
You have to play by their rules to be in there. I don't think it's the best drivers around the world that are in that. It's the best drivers that they buy their way in, whether through sponsorship, their own money, or whatever, whoever's dick they could suck to get in there. And I really feel like they're gatekeeping from keeping Andretti Motorsport out of there in Cadillac, which could be competitive.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so it seems like that as a NASCAR fan, I mean, we talked about this in the past. We experienced the rise and the fall, and now the somewhat rise again of NASCAR.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we became fans before it peaked. I'd say it peaked around like 2008.
Yeah.
Like right around the crash, like the financial crash.
Yes.
Like I'd say that's when it really started to go down. I mean, I remember trying to go to a race and except for Dover, because Dover was always like hit or miss because of weather.
Mm-hmm.
Like most races was like a wait list to go to.
Uh-huh.
I remember that as a kid.
Yeah.
Primarily that's why I didn't go, just because there was always a wait list. But F1 is seeing a rise in American popularity.
Big boom.
Big boom. What also happened in 2008, around that time? Some Californian named Jimmy Johnson was putting a beating on everyone in the fucking Cup Series.
Oh.
And he won, in 2008, he won his 3rd consecutive championship, and he ended up winning 5 of them consecutively.
It sounds like a garbage. Yeah.
Garbage truck?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's very loud for a garbage truck.
I think that was one of the F1 cars just drove by. But back in that time, I mean, a lot of things happened in NASCAR which could contribute to the fall of NASCAR. I mean, a lot of people will say that NASCAR died when Dale died, even though it peaked 7 years later. A big part of that was Jimmy Johnson just dominating. And people were tired of seeing that all the time.
That and a lot of the rules changes to try and prevent that.
Exactly.
NASCAR was going through a lot of changes every year. It's just what it was. But
I mean, people still to this day bitch about Jimmy Johnson winning so much.
Yeah.
And he hasn't won a race since 2017. I mean,
we saw his last race.
You had Max Verstappen win in 2021, which was this amazing championship run.
Yeah.
And then he locked up the championship a couple races early last year, and apparently, I think they were at Bahrain. Don't come at me, I don't care. They were at whatever first race they were, and Max Verstappen won with like a crazy lead.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And apparently, he was only running the car like 80%. Like he could have added like an extra 40 seconds a lap. Lead, something like that. It was something that
absurd
amount.
Yeah.
Of just like. People are saying that he's going to win his third championship already,
Right.
Like,
just like how
they got to be careful because I mean, like if you have this big boom and you just see one guy dominate, people aren't going to watch. F1's already boring to me because I already see it as just follow. Oh my god. F1 to me is already boring because I already see it as follow the leader.
I mean, it's F1. Follow first.
But like it's. You're going to lose all those fans you get just by... I mean, I don't know what they can do. Because clearly NASCAR tried doing this with Jimmy and it didn't work. No matter what they did, he fucking won. I mean, for 5 years straight, they couldn't tame him,
Yeah.
And
I know they just recently went through some changes with their cars too. So
Formula One?
Yeah. And the diehard fans are already not a fan of that. So like,
yeah.
What else can you do?
I mean, I just think that we're gonna see a peak, and I think within the next 5 years, F1's gonna be back where it was.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, if again, like you said, if Verstappen is this strong, I mean, I barely follow. I want to follow just racing in general, but I mean, but I feel like Formula One's always weird times being across the world. So I had no idea. I try and follow some of the social media. I guess I don't follow enough to know that there was a race.
Apparently, I talk too much F1 because it's all over my TikTok feed. Speaking of which, what I just said, I pretty much put in a comment on someone's video on TikTok, and I got told, "Shut up, you dumb hick." So I mean, I hate F1 fans.
Yeah,
I was nice. I didn't say anything derogatory about F1. I was like, just be careful what you wish for, But hey, I was just a stupid hick, But anyway,
well, you said it's
a country club. It's a gate-capped country club. I would say that F1 is the most gate-capped form of motorsports in the world.
For sure.
But anyway, segue back into my weekend. Saturday I work. Sunday I helped Jill move stuff out of her dad's house. So I was kind of trying to get the INDYCAR app to work, which is kind of strange because they have NTT data, whatever it is. They run the INDYCAR page, and I could not get the radio to work for the life of me. Every time I'd click on the scanner radio, it would tell me it's buffering, and just buffering, and buffering, and buffering, and buffering. 3 hours later, and buffering,
super
and
buff.
Buffering,
it's just super buff at this point.
So I went against my better judgment, and I was driving around, and I decided, you know what, I have Peacock, I'll just put the race on Peacock. And I listened to the race broadcast from NBC. And I gotta say, those Indy cars put on a hell of a show, Those cars are hard to drive, and I wish I could have sat down and watched it, but, I had stuff going on. But St. Pete always seems to be a good race. But you watched that too, right? You're saying you watched the IndyCar race?
Yeah. Well, so I didn't realize it was on until I saw that first huge wreck.
Yes.
Actually, I saw that, and then I saw the second wreck.
You talking about the two cars that went airborne?
Yeah, those two wrecks, and I was like, oh, and then I put it on the TV. Like I said, I had Nick over,
Mm-hmm.
so well, that was even before he came over, but I put it on after I noticed that. And I was watching, and I'm going to say this guy and that guy, but the two leaders.
So he's talking about Formula F1 dropout, Romain Grosjean, the lettuce guy. And they all see, he might be from New Zealand. They're so close. But McLaughlin.
Okay, yeah. But, they were dominating the whole race.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I saw those first two wrecks, and I was like, God damn. And I was like, oh, the Indy race is on. Let me put it on. And then it was good racing. Again, it was on kind of background. Mm-hmm. But I was enjoying it a lot. And then, watching those green flag pit stops. And, wow. It made a very big change in the race.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, INDYCAR is always an exciting series to watch. You have a wide level of skill in that.
For sure.
I mean, there's just a lot that goes on in that race, and you have a lot of personalities that clash. Because I mean, with like NASCAR, I would say 99.9% of all the drivers are good old boys from America, with the exception of Suarez and
fucking Hicks.
Yeah. And INDYCAR is more of a world stage, than NASCAR is like a North American stage,
INDYCAR is like that mix between like the NASCAR and F1.
INDYCAR is that perfect mix between F1 and NASCAR. Yeah. And I love INDYCAR.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to the Indianapolis 500 in 2 months.
Nice.
Can't wait. Hopefully we can still do the INDYCAR NASCAR doubleheader.
I would like to try it.
We unfortunately just found out. I found out, and I informed Alex that there's no infield camping at the.
Even for I get it's a road course, but even for such a big track,
yeah,
they have regular parking there.
They do.
Come on.
I know, because
I was Indianapolis.
I was a little bummed about that. I mean, I still want to go, but I'm bummed that there's no infield camping.
If you don't want to do that, I am down. Like we talked about
do the
this, Roval or Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
Just I want to get a road course in this year. The last time I went to a road course, I think it was 2004 or 5.
I've never been, so I'd have to check that off my list. I've been to a short track. I've been to all the 2.5 mile tracks. Because not Talladega, because that's 2.66.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to all the 2.5 mile tracks. I've been to Super Speedway. I've not been to an intermediate yet either. Still have to go to a cookie cutter.
Went to Texas for the All-Star race. I told you that. But yeah, I did Watkins Glen and
been to a dirt race.
Went to the dirt race. With this year with the street race, that's gonna be something new for me. So
yeah. Hopefully that makes its way to New York, like we talked about in the last episode. But somehow. But I gotta say, we always talk about NASCAR. I mean, it's a little. It's a little sad to be like, NASCAR didn't put on the best race this weekend. I mean, the Xfinity race was pretty good.
Did not see
it. You had Austin Hill win that. You had Kyle Busch win the Truck Series race. RC Horror is behind about half the wins this year.
Yeah.
In all the top 3 series. Because you have Austin Hill with 2 wins.
Yeah.
Kyle Busch with 2 wins. And then everything else is Chevy. You have Chevy just dominating so far. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, the only other ones that you have that aren't Chevy, you have Zane Smith winning in the truck Daytona. And who else won? I'm trying to think who won Xfinity at Fontana.
Don't ask me.
Why is this escaping me? I gotta go look. Schedule. Xfinity. The NASCAR website's being stupid too.
So.
Let's see who won. John Hunter. So you had one Toyota, one Ford, and then just Chevy just dominating.
That's because Chevy's awesome.
Chevy's the best.
Team Chevy.
Yes, and Chevy never cheats because they're my favorite. Gotta remember that. So, on to Vegas. We had, like I said, a pretty uneventful race. For the most part.
Joey Logano had an eventful race.
Yeah, because you picked him.
Yeah.
The curse continues.
I did get the point for the pole in the Fun's lead.
You did. I was
He
surprised.
qualified pole. I was like, great. And then he sucked the rest of the race,
He did.
even including going airborne. He didn't go upside down, but all 4 tires were
all 4 tires were in
ground.
the air. Which I bet you that did not hurt anywhere near as it hurt. I can't think of his name. That was the 2 cars that went airborne.
Yeah.
There's no suspension
in INDYCAR. No.
In INDYCAR, I mean, he literally just dropped from the sky.
Mm-hmm.
You know. I was listening to the teardown this morning, and they were saying that Penske's usually really good at Vegas, and they wouldn't qualify well, but they would race well. Well, what did we have this week? They qualified well. Joey was on the pole. Blaney was
up
5.
there. Blaney still had a good race.
Yeah, I mean, I
not
picked
for
him.
not amazing.
Not
amazing, but he did okay.
They didn't do well, and
no.
I mean, I think Cedric was a lap down at some point. And I know we got the lucky dog in one of those wrecks. Again, Eric Amaral spinning out, running out of talent. I feel like it's like Weekend at Bernie's inside that car. I feel like he's just mentally checked out, and he's just not there.
Well, he wasn't supposed to be here.
He wasn't supposed to be there. I feel like Smithfield took their golden shovel and dug Eric out of the grave there. Stuart Haas is in trouble. I mean, Chase Briscoe has talent. He definitely has talent. But you have Kevin Harvick's going away. You have Eric Almirola, I think, has another year left. I think he signed a 2-year deal. I mean, he's been a has-been since he started.
I know, yeah. He's never been anything good.
You have Ryan Preece, who, again, I don't like.
He's a dog.
He qualified worse than fucking LaJoy. He qualified worse than LaJoy. Fucking.
You said Cody Ware?
Cody Ware and JJ Yaley.
Who qualifies worse than Cody Ware?
Ryan Preece.
That's a dud right there. Stuart Haas these past couple of years has been. There's always the memes of the mother saving the child.
Yeah.
The ones splashing in the back,
and then there's the skeleton. Yeah. And NASCAR's already that skeleton because now he got Smoke that does. He has the SRX series. He's now racing a full-time season in NHRA. He has his own team now with his wife. Yeah. I think they're married, right?
I believe they're married. They got married. I don't know.
So it's just like, what is going on with Haas with Stuart Haas? I mean, there's just there's no like. If you're a Stuart Haas fan, I feel bad for you because there's no good outlook.
No.
I mean, who are you putting in that 4 car? Are you just going to bump Zane Smith up from the trucks?
I think we talked about this. That Ford doesn't have anybody.
No, they don't have any. The only person in the pipeline right now is Haley Deegan.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really want to put her in there?
No.
Do they really want Danica 2.0? I mean, I think she's more talented than Danica, but I mean, Danica did nothing in the 10 car. Nothing.
No. Yeah, and Ford has nothing going on in any of the lower stuff. And
I mean, you have Riley Hurst. I mean, are you gonna put him there?
Well, who was it? I think Chevy now has too many people. So what? Maybe they steal from the Chevy drivers.
I mean, I wouldn't say Chevy has too many people. I mean, you have Austin Hill has to end up somewhere. Mm-hmm. I mean, now that Noah and Ty are gone in the Xfinity series, he seems to be really showing who he is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But my only thing is what does Austin Dillon do? Does he keep racing? Or does he want to go more of a management role inside of RCR? Because that's where he's going eventually.
For sure, being
I mean, especially with him, Neb, and Kyle. I mean,
yeah. He could just I don't know. They put him in the 31, make a 3-car team. Yeah,
I mean, if Kyle keeps doing the way he's doing, I'm sure there's going to be no shortage of cash flow into that RCR
team.
Of
course. Yeah, I think if Kyle does well, Richard Childress will keep him around because there's never been any sign of Kyle slowing down.
No, I mean, on the Dale Jr. download, Dale Jr. says, you have those prime years from 37 to 42, 43 where everything clicks, mm-hmm. Your experience clicks, your will to win clicks, it all comes together, and that's when you're going to be in your prime. And Kyle is 37.
Yeah.
So I mean.
He's
not done.
He's been winning every season, even with Joe Gibbs.
19 seasons.
It's insane. So he's not slowing down anytime at all, and he's gonna have like you said, he's gonna go on a tear with his
Yeah.
vengeance, and he's gonna bring RCR back to what it was. He's gonna be the next Dale, and
Yes.
Richard's gonna keep him around, I think we'll see a resurgence there, and I think. I don't think Austin's gonna leave racing anytime soon.
No.
But he's just because if you're a driver, you want to drive, but you gotta have somebody competitive in that car.
He's a top 10, top 15 guy.
He's better than Cody Ware.
Oh,
He's better than Corey LaJoy.
He's better than Corey LaJoy in the equipment that he's in now. I mean, if you were to put Corey LaJoy in better equipment, I'd be curious to see what he could do. Like swap Dylan and LaJoy.
We had this happen. Matty DiBenedetto.
Yeah, but I mean, Matt never won though.
Has Corey won?
Corey was great when he was in other equipment, like when he was in the lower series and racing like the K&N. He was pretty good. I mean, I could look it up right here on Racing Reference. Love this website. So we're gonna put Matty D because I can't spell DiBenedetto.
I've seen his stuff. He has nothing. He has like a K&N wing.
It's probably Matt D.
Did you put Matty?
Yeah. Yeah. DiBenedetto. I think he has like 1 or 2 wins.
1.
Well, he has the truck series wins.
Oh, so one truck and one.
Yeah, he has that one truck win. Yeah.
Oh, no Xfinity.
No ARCA.
No, ARCA, and yeah.
Yeah, he has nothing in Xfinity. No ARCA.
1 K&N, right? 3
K&N.
Oh.
Over 2 years. And that's the All-Star. Okay. Now we're going to look up LaJoy. LaJoie.
Excuse me. Doesn't have that mullet anymore. He doesn't have that mullet anymore. Cup nothing. Xfinity nothing. Truck nothing. ARCA 3. K&N 6 in 7 years.
1. I mean, okay, that's still more wins than Matt DiBenedetto.
More racing than Matt DiBenedetto.
More wins though.
In the grand scheme of things, is not much better though.
Still better.
Is he better? Probably, but like on their level, no. He's on the same level. He just has more years.
But I mean, like Spire's not good equipment.
No.
When he was in that 95, was it the 95?
I don't know.
Team Levine Racing, when that was like supposed to be the next fucking Furniture Row Racing.
Yeah.
After that closed down, then it was the 95, because then what's his face went there? Bell went there.
Okay.
I mean, Bell didn't do much better than DiBenedetto, but I mean, he put it in scenarios where he could have won. But I mean, I know you like DiBenedetto.
Well, he's Italian.
But then so is Logano.
I don't like Logano.
He
never embraced his Italian heritage.
No, and then he went on that whole fucking God thing. I feel like that turned a lot of people away.
Definitely me.
Yeah. However, but still, I don't think LaJoy is that bad. I think if you were to put him, if you were to swap LaJoy and Austin Dillon, LaJoy is gonna outrun Dillon.
By like 3 positions.
I mean, here, let's go. Where is qualifying? Because usually it shows the breakdown. It doesn't yet, at least. I don't want these have to be too stupid.
So after
Whatever. It's whatever. I don't care. NASCAR, fix your fucking website. And INDYCAR, fix your fucking app. But anyway, so to carry on with the race, I'm just getting pissed off now. Carry on with the race. Hendrick Motorsports dominated. Sans Chase Elliott.
No chase.
No chase. We had Josh Berry in that car.
But these 3.
Yeah, those 3 did great. So Chase Elliott broke his tibia, I think it was, fractured his tibia.
Yeah, whatever the bone is.
Tibia, fibula, whatever.
Broke his leg.
Well, one of his body. He didn't break his femur. So that I mean, you break that, that's a low chance. He's out. He had 3 hours of surgery. He's out for the next foreseeable future. Hendrick Motorsports just put out right before we made this podcast that.
Well,
What?
get to.
I'm excited about that.
I know.
Fine.
They announced, Josh Berry raced this race.
You're gonna say it before I can say it?
Oh, I'm just gonna say it. Well, what did you want? What have you been saying? What did you tell me when you got here? What you wanted to hear? What did you say?
Okay, I said that if Chase Elliott is still out for COTA, I mean, there's receipts. I can show this that I sent this last night. There's fucking receipts.
Yes.
That if Chase Elliott is out by COTA, which more than likely he will be.
Yeah.
Put fucking Jordan Taylor in that car.
And I was like, yeah, you think so? He's like, yeah.
Yeah, put him in that car. And you're like, oh, you think that could happen? I'm like, he's the coach for Garage 56.
Right.
Why wouldn't they put him in that car?
I was like, okay, we'll see. Okay.
And then...
And now, Hendrick Motorsports announced
that Josh Berry is going to be racing the ovals. And as far as COTA goes, because I think that's... I don't think there's much more road courses...
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Jordan Taylor is going to be driving the 9 car at COTA for Hendrick Motorsports, and I'm so fucking excited. Let's fucking go.
Yes.
Let's fucking go.
You got to lead it up right.
I know.
You can't just say it and be like, I said that. I'm like, no, you got. He said this. He says Jordan Taylor should be in that car. And then
he did it.
As we're setting up here, he's just starts screaming. We're looking for our Darth comment.
Yeah.
And he's screaming, Jordan Taylor's gonna be in the 9. Yeah, so we're fortune tellers.
Yes, we are. It's almost like we know what we're doing. But yeah, this was as Chase Elliott recovers, Josh Berry will drive the number 9 Chevy on ovals, and Jordan Taylor will race NASCAR at COTA.
Just NASCAR COTA.
Yeah.
COTA.
But I'm gonna put this on the screen here. That's on Bowman's car.
Those are paw prints.
Those are not paw
Those
prints.
are paw prints.
Those are not paw
Get your
prints.
head out of the gutter.
Those are not paw
Those
prints.
are paw prints. That's a paw print.
I thought that was shitposting for a second. I thought it was Duncan at first.
I thought that was Duncan too. It's the Duncan colors. For sure.
That is very poor planning. And that definitely. Speaking of Hendrick Motorsports in Vegas,
back to back.
You know they won the 3. They won the last 3 spring races at Vegas, but this one would have to be the biggest win for Hendrick Motorsports.
With the top 3, or
oh no, with the hat that was on William Byron's head. I want one of those hats so bad. I'm gonna plaster it here, but I remember them being on Shark Tank, and I'm like, those are stupid.
They was even on Shark Tank for what?
It was a Shark Tank to grow the company. You know, they needed money, I guess. I don't know. Apparently, it's working because now they I saw Noah Gragson with it. I
think it's the stupidest.
Willie B's had it.
It's the dumbest thing ever.
Someone else wore it. I mean, they're expensive. I'm not gonna lie, but they like imagine getting us for the podcast. Like, someone wearing a big ass hat that has Arm Hairdressers podcast across it, a little fun thing on the side. Oh my god, it look great. You know.
No.
All right. Whatever. I guess Alex is in a silly, goofy mood today, like I am. But anyway, back to Vegas. I know we've been kind of going but back to Vegas. Tyler Reddick actually finished the race this year in the 45 car. He didn't get taken out in a wreck.
Good for him.
Yeah, I was starting to get worried there because he had I think he wrecked in practice or something. He didn't qualify. Because I was watching qualifying. He had a DNS, dead start.
Yeah.
I will say though, I didn't imagine Busch having more success than Reddick this early in the career. I know you said you did. I thought Reddick would have been better than Busch.
Yeah, Reddick was. I mean, he had a good year last year in the 8. So yeah, but I mean,
three races in, I didn't expect to win out of either one of them. To be honest,
I did.
I knew Kyle was gonna win. I knew he was gonna make it work. I just did not expect it to happen this early. Second race in with a win. You know what I mean? I mean, hell, even at Daytona, like I was like, oh shit, is he gonna pull it off here?
Yeah.
I mean, he very easily could have just won the first 2 races.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think we'll see a win out of Reddick this year.
Oh,
just
I
a
think
win.
So too.
Just getting in wrecks, he just got unlucky.
Yeah.
And it happens to a lot of drivers. But good on him. I don't know where he finished.
He finished. Let's see. Let's go back here.
15.
15. All right.
That's not bad.
No, it's a lot better than 40th.
Yeah.
A lot better than Joey Logano. Joey Logano. Haha. He still finished behind JJ Yeley and Cody Ware.
Ty Dillon finished
34th.
Yeah. So was Joey Logano was the only car not to finish?
Yeah, he's the only one. Yeah, they're all running.
Nice.
Let's see. So there was that late caution by Eric Amarola. Third race, third wreck.
It was at the end of the second stage.
No,
That's all right.
No, that was the end of the last. That was the end of the race. That was. We just watched it.
Okay.
That was 4 laps to go.
Okay.
Do you think that should have been a caution? Personally, I don't.
No, it looked like a hard hit.
He hit the wall, kept going.
He kept going. I've seen cars hit the wall like that. Something breaks and they drop debris on the track. You call a caution. I don't know if they saw debris, but he kept going, so it could be doubtful. They could have just made a bad call.
Like they didn't hesitate. Like they threw that caution flag immediately after contact.
As opposed to
the race-ending caution. Well, not race-ending because there was a caution.
The wreck at the end.
The wreck on the last lap. I'm surprised they didn't call the caution for that. I mean, I'm glad they didn't.
They were
able to race the line. I'm glad about that.
The only shot we've seen of it is AJ Allmendinger spinning.
Yeah,
but
I think it was Dinger and Stenhouse.
But you hear Clint Boyer, oh, there's 5 cars spinning in the back. If there's 5 cars, that's gonna be a caution.
Yeah.
Unless they all spun down. But I don't think it might have been 5 cars, and Clint Boyer's just fucking Clint Boyer.
Yeah, I mean, Clint Boyer's a little dramatic. I'm not gonna lie there, but
I mean, he did replace DW.
Yes, but with that caution happening, you had Truex that stayed out, and everyone else pitted.
You had overtime, and
I know, especially at Vegas, what you see is you usually see everyone do the opposite of the leader. Now, granted, Truex wasn't leading at the time, but I'm surprised that everyone followed Larson down pit road. You know?
Yeah.
And then Denny Hamlin only took 2 tires, which moved him up. It's a good thing.
They must have been on really old tires.
Yeah.
Again, I was only like half watching, but they must have been on really old tires to need those fresh tires.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But Truex didn't pit. I thought that was the right call because I figured. I mean, like how far back is he going to get shuffled?
In 3 laps.
I think he had a better chance of maintaining position up there than trying to race everyone through with new tires.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And hindsight's always 20/20 because I think it was like either left or right or one of the rear wheels, the lug nut was like messed up on it. It wasn't coming off, it was stripped or whatever, and the team was struggling to take the tire off after the race. Imagine that happened on pit road.
Yeah, that would have been the end of the race for sure.
That would have been the end of the race for him, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe they knew something we didn't know, you know? Maybe they knew that in the last pit stop that it didn't go on kosher, you know?
Tire changer was like, yeah, I fucked that lug nut up. Don't bring him in. It's not coming off.
I mean, who knows? That could have been what, you know?
Yeah.
What did it? And then after that, William Byron gets win number 5. Career win number 5. Career win number 292 for Hendrick Motorsports. Now,
with that win,
yes,
you said 292. They need 8 wins to get to 300.
They already hold the record. The record,
yes.
Which we were there at Dover.
We were
there at Dover when
that was the 4 in a row.
Yes,
that was 1, 2, 3, 4.
That was 2021 was a big year for Hendrick Motorsports, dude. just dominated, you know?
Yes.
I mean, that was 2021 when they went 269. We're already at 292.
Yeah.
Not even a full 2 years later. You know?
All right. So we did a little bit of the math.
Yeah. Like, like 2 + 2 = 5.
Yeah. Our first race this year that we're going to is Dover.
And that's in
8 races. Hendrick Motorsports can dominate, win the next 8 races, and we can see win number 300 for Hendrick Motorsports.
And I think what they should do is they should put old Jimmy Jam, old 7-time in that 9 car Dover.
He's very good at Dover.
Get that 300 win,
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
How many wins does he have at Dover?
11.
11.
12. And it'd be 184. I mean, I doubt it's going to happen. I think there's a better chance of Jimmy running the 84 at Dover than him running the 9 at Dover. But I just say, I'm hopeful.
The seat's open now.
It is open.
They did say Josh Berry's going to do all the ovals.
Josh Berry could get injured.
What are you saying here? I haven't seen Tom in a week.
Yeah, right? Why does Tom's Snapchat location have him in Phoenix? But anyway, so that's that with Vegas. There is one thing I do want to say, is that because we kind of already covered the INDYCAR race. I have that here. I mean, we have Roman Grosjean.
I mean, we didn't say who won.
You have okay. I'll recap that first. You had a pretty exciting race. We've already mentioned that. You have Marcus Ericsson, the defending 22 Indy 500 champion, wins the first race in 23. Gets Chip Ganassi his first win of.
You want to know how we cut out from that? We were gonna talk about we were on when
the leaders wrecked, right?
Yeah,
yes.
And we never really finished that.
No, we didn't. So again, the cool part about IndyCar, these cars are hard to drive. I didn't watch practice, but I kept seeing them post this on their social media. Was another car would hit the wall during practice or during qualifying.
Cold tires have no grip, which is across racing
anywhere.
But in IndyCar, you really saw it, and so like I was saying, lead cars. I was watching this. So they were going through their green flag pit stop, and who was it that did what?
It was McLaughlin that was coming at. He pit Roman Grosjean.
Was on the track.
Was on the track. They come into the blend.
And McLaughlin beat him out.
McLaughlin beat him out of pit road, and then Grosjean is right on his back bumper.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, even bumper. Right on his back tires. He was right there. Like if he was an inch forward, he was going under him.
Yeah.
And then they made one turn, 2 turns, baby. Yeah. And then McLaughlin's on the inside. Grosjean's
he's blocking
on the
preferred
outside,
line,
and he just overdrives that thing.
I mean,
into the turn.
The on-car camera, you saw him brake early.
He braked early. Still wasn't enough.
No.
And he just had to turn left because he was
already sliding.
He was just gonna spin around.
Yeah. So.
And unfortunately, the two of them run into the tires and they take each other out.
And this is a corner that I've in my watching out of the corner of my eye. It was a corner.
It was a very tight corner.
Very tight. There's 6 rows of tires. 6 rows of tires.
At least.
Yeah. And I was pointing it out to Tom. I'm they don't need to take 2 away, and that turn has plenty of space because it's a sharp turn. So going in, speed, but
it's like a 90-degree turn.
Yeah,
almost.
But these guys, if you're braking enough, you're not gonna kill yourself. They really too many tires made it very tight, and I think if there was less tires, a lot of drivers would have made it through that turn, maybe including these guys. Even if they got into each other, I think they still would have made it. But yeah, they took each other away, and then after that, it was all Marcus Ericsson.
Yes, well, boy, right before that.
Oh, no.
Right before Marcus Ericsson, you had Palou. No, it's not Palou. Sorry, Pato O'Ward.
He was dominating.
And then they're coming off the last turn
on the front stretch.
The front stretch.
And he had something.
I'm not sure what happened. It was either I heard it was either
power or something,
misshift, or he hit the pit road button. Because they had pit road limiters. Which again, NASCAR. Why don't we have those?
You don't get speeding penalties then. You don't get Denny Hamlin getting speed penalties.
Care. Like pit road is for safety. Pit road speed limit is for what? Safety or for penalties? It's for safety.
Yeah.
So if safety is your top priority, this technology clearly already exists, right?
I guess.
Because
Yeah.
it's in INDYCAR. They have pit road speed limiters. Put it in NASCAR.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Well, I guess because then you don't get the race off, with, someone getting that edge of...
You had it in INDYCAR. They had pit road speed limiters, and you saw what happened with Grosjean and McLaughlin.
Yeah.
I mean...
You're right. IndyCar being better than NASCAR.
Yes, and I'm not afraid to say that.
It's got some good racing coming from that.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, so that was finishing the recap on
Indy.
Indy.
Yeah, recap. So Pato O'Ward, he struggles coming out of that last turn. Marcus Ericsson goes right around him, and then he's smooth sailing to the lead.
Yeah.
And ironically, the last time that I can remember a car getting airborne in an IndyCar race, in recent memory, was when Marcus Ericsson got airborne at Nashville and won the race. An IndyCar getting airborne and not finishing, winning. But that's all that about IndyCar. Let's segue back into NASCAR. So we saw a lot of parity in 2022, right? We had what? Did we have 18 different winners?
16 or 18. It was an even number. It was high.
Yeah, it was high because you had Bubba that won. Bubba won after
Talladega.
Yeah.
After in the playoffs.
Was it Talladega?
No,
Michigan.
Yeah.
Right.
It was a big track. Yeah, Michigan. No, I don't know. Don't ask me.
Oh, it was Kansas. It was Kansas.
Sure.
Kurt Busch won Kansas in the spring. And then there was Kansas. Yeah. So, and then you had Eric Jones that won, Chris Buescher that won, so that's 3. Yeah, I think it was 18. I think he had 15 before, or I don't think they were 16 because Blaney got in on points.
Okay. Yeah.
So, anyway, there's a lot of parity. Anyone could win any given week. I don't know why NASCAR, not NASCAR, but the talking heads of the sport, all the journalists, every time, like, we had 3 different races this year. 3 completely different. You had a super speedway, you had a 2 mile, and you had a 1.5 mile. 3 different styles of racing, right?
A 1.5 mile that drives like a short track.
Yeah.
No.
Well, no. You're thinking of Phoenix.
Yeah.
You had 3 different tracks, 3 different winners.
Yes.
Now, granted, when Ricky won the 500, no one's saying, "Oh, this guy's gonna win the championship." But when Kyle Busch won, and if he didn't have that pit road speeding penalty, he probably would have dominated the race. He had to race his way back up to the front.
Yes.
If he didn't have that speeding penalty, he's probably going to be up there with Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez racing the entire thing. You know what I mean? But again, you had the fastest car win at Fontana. You had the fastest car win at Las Vegas. Granted, Hendrick Motorsports dominated at Vegas. Last week, the talking topic was, Kyle Busch is going to win the championship. He's now the championship favorite.
Yeah.
Now, we're at Vegas. A week later, and everyone's like, Hendrick Motorsports is they're going to be the favorite to win. They're fast again. This parity's gone. Yada, yada, yada. We're 3 races into the season. 3 races in.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Like, we're 3 races. We have 3 different winners. Stop saying, this guy's going to win the championship. This guy's the favorite. No one's the fucking favorite.
Don't you understand that people like to bitch and complain?
Because, what happened in 2020? Who was the favorite all season long?
I don't know.
Kevin Harvick. And Chase had an amazing run in the playoffs, and Harvick didn't.
That's the whole point of the playoffs.
Exactly. But I'm saying, why are we talking about this at week 3?
Because people bitch and complain.
But
dumbass race fans.
It's still there.
I know.
We have 3 races and 3 different winners. Granted, it's all Chevy. We have 3 different races, 3 different winners, 3 different teams.
Can we say that Chevy's gonna win the championship?
I'd say it's likely at this point. I'd say it's likely, but it's not. I'm not gonna say, Chevy's a favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say right now they're the favorite because they're the only ones with wins. But okay,
I mean, Chevy was strong last year, and then somehow Joey Logano won.
Exactly.
Phoenix.
Exactly. I mean, but you had Ford won both Phoenix races though. Briscoe won the spring race, and then you had Joey winning the fall race.
Yeah.
Which is that was the worst championship race I ever saw in my life. I hated that, and not just because Joey won, but it was just he let the whole fucking thing. You know what I mean? But if I still don't think we're gonna have the parity that we saw last year. But the reason why we had the parity is because we pretty much had an even playing field.
All drivers had, it was a fresh new car.
Now, I don't know about the NHL because I think they do like a lottery system with the draft, right? Is it a lottery or is it like?
No. I mean, you could trade. You could
Well, you
trade
could
draft
trade, but like
picks.
when the draft happens, like who? What determines the draft order? Before trades and everything happens, what determines the draft order?
I think they just have it. I don't know.
Is it a lottery? Like they just pick randomly?
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
'Cause-
Well, I know in the then I'll talk something that I can explain. In the NFL, the worst team picks first.
Yeah.
And it basically goes the opposite. The season standings, it goes the opposite. So
Yeah.
it goes from worst to best.
Yeah.
So that way, the best teams aren't picking
The best players.
the best players and staying the best teams.
Yes.
You know, it kind of tries to keep the parity in there. That, you know, like, okay, fine, if you have a bad season, you could draft this really good player, and maybe you could become a better team next year. You know what I mean?
I don't think one player's going to make that change, but that is.
No, but that's
It helps.
That's the idea, you know. So like, you don't have, you know, like when the Patriots are winning all year, you didn't have them getting
Just-
first dibs, you know.
Yeah, just getting the best players,
Or
players.
even if they could just be getting the best players to prevent them from going to a different team. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I think with NASCAR, I think an idea. I kind of talked to you about this yesterday. I don't know how you do it because, well, let me just say it first. And then, I think that, you know, the bottom X amount of teams, whatever you want to call it, should get extra practice and extra R&D and extra wind tunnel time, etc. You know, for that following season, and have it be NASCAR backed. You know, like you can go to the NASCAR wind tunnel. NASCAR will pay for the track time, and get these cars to be more competitive. That way, you keep the parity that you had last year. Now, I don't know if you want to just take the bottom of the bottom 5, bottom 10, whatever. Because like, what if like, you know, you have like 3 really good cars from one team and then one bad team? That team clearly doesn't need the practice. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you have like Stewart Haas, for example. Let's say they get 3 guys into the playoffs, and Eric Almirola just, you know, way down, way back. You know,
He doesn't need it.
they don't need it.
Yeah.
Because now that's gonna go to there. Like maybe take the average, like you take all the teams and you average their
The
you
rate
average it out.
their cars. Yeah.
Yeah, you average it out, and then like the ones with the worst finishes overall, they get the testing.
I could
Yeah,
tell
we-
you a couple of them. Spire, Rick Ware Racing.
Yeah.
What's his name's? BJ McLeod's team.
Go fast.
Go Fast.
Live fast. I don't know, one of those.
Yeah.
I still think.
Front row.
Yeah. Well, front row's. Front. I think front row is a team that could use a little bit of a push.
Your idea?
Exactly. But another thing that I think NASCAR should do is, I think that they should really enforce, like, the way the charter works is that, like, you have 3 years. If you're in the bottom 3 years in a row, you lose the charter.
Mm-hmm.
But what these teams do is that they just pass the charters around.
Is that how it works?
So they get by that loophole. Or they
Okay.
make their own loophole and they get by that way. Because they'll
So
just
before they
transfer
lose it,
they'll just transfer it around. That way it's a different charter.
Okay.
So on paper, they didn't own that charter the year before.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they're still finishing last.
Yeah.
Like, please get rid of Rick Ware Racing.
In every other series,
They're fine. NASCAR, they fucking suck.
I don't get it.
I don't either. Maybe it's because NASCAR, you know, that's where the talent is. But, you know. But, like, when it comes to NASCAR, they're an embarrassment. You know?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But I think, you know, if NASCAR wants to keep parity, because I feel like once these teams get these cars and they get them figured out,
We're gonna see.
you're going to see the cream rise at the top.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to see the cream of the crop. The cream always rises, you know?
Yep.
You're always going to... Joe Gibbs is always going to do well. Hendrick Motorsports is always going to do well. Penske is always going to do well, you know?
Yeah.
I'd say Stewart Haas, but, you know, you can't really say that. But, you know, those teams are always going to excel to the top, you know? If you don't give the lower teams an edge, they're always going to be the lower teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And I think, like, you know, like I was saying with F1, as much as I'd love to see, you know, HMS just go out and win everything, that looks bad.
Yeah.
You know?
It gets boring.
It gets boring. I mean, it's always going to be easier to watch a guy you like dominate than watching somebody you don't like dominate. You know what I mean? Because it's your guy dominating. You know, that's what you want. You want to win every week.
Yeah.
But realistically, you don't. You know?
You want to see some good racing.
Exactly. And we didn't really have that this week.
No.
There wasn't really much passing. I mean, because these guys are... They're starting to find out what makes this car tick. You know? So they're going to use that to their advantage. I mean, think about the reason why we went to the car tomorrow.
Safety.
Yeah. But it essentially...
It was also the first...
The Twisted Sister car?
It was...
The Gen 4?
Yeah.
Like, teams were so... They had all the money. They had all the knowledge. If they didn't keep going the way they were going, they would have fallen behind. So they had to keep making these changes to the car, where the car resembled nothing of the car it was supposed to represent.
My favorite picture is that overhead of the 24.
Yeah, over at the Brickyard.
Yeah.
Where it's the Twisted Sister. You know, like, the teams couldn't help themselves because they had to keep going, because if they didn't, someone else would.
Yeah.
NASCAR, the teams came to NASCAR and was like, help us help ourselves. And that's
the
when...
The COT was the first, like, equalizer car.
Exactly. Yeah. And they've kind of been going forward on that, because if we still kept the Gen 4 car, safety aside, if we still kept the Gen 4 car that raced from the 90s to the mid 2000s,
it wouldn't.
It would be because there was no rules.
It would probably look like ridiculous. A dirt modified that's on asphalt.
It was ridiculous,
right?
Like,
the is that the dirt modified?
Yeah.
The fucking wedge that's sideways.
I mean, it was only a matter of time before that happened.
I mean, they were getting to that.
Yeah. Because they were getting the hood so low it touched the tires. You know, not the hood, but like the front.
It was getting flat in the front.
Yeah, it was getting so low they were about to touch the tires.
Yeah.
And the teams went to NASCAR like, help us.
There were some cars that would do that.
Yeah.
They had tire rubs, and it was just because of that.
And it wasn't even touching the outside; it was touching inside.
Yeah,
because the tires were so tucked in underneath. The teams were beating themselves up because if it wasn't them, it was going to be someone else. You know.
And then I remember, I don't know where I saw it, but just recently, when the COT first just came out, they were still trying to get the slew cars.
Yeah.
There's the 77. Remember?
Yes. The car that got with the All-Star Open. That's when they started to skew the cars.
Yeah.
And the car was running sideways.
Yeah.
But it dominated.
Because it had the side force.
Because if there's not a rule that tells them, don't do this...
They're gonna do it.
They're gonna do it,
and that's what like you said, the Gen 4 and the Twisted. I mean, that's what they were making with the car being straight.
Yeah,
it was slewed, and then they started doing that with the they were literally running sideways because the COT was the first straight car. But then we did see that with the next gen, but they were going opposite.
Yeah,
they were
because
to get
the biggest.
It was to get air onto the spoiler on the inside.
Because the big difference between the Gen 6 and the current gen. See, we still keep calling it next gen, but like it's the second season now. Like I don't know.
I mean, we call it the car of the tomorrow. It was the car of
way yesterday. But the biggest difference was the fact that it had the 2-piece splitter, so air goes under the car, and that the body's symmetrical. Whereas with the
all the previous cars,
the left side would come in and the right side would be straight, would be flat. So you'd have that side force.
Yeah.
To work the car.
So now, it was to tuck this.
They kind of tried to go back to that to skew the car, and then right after I think they just did qualifying. They're like, yeah, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Because like the teams will do whatever they can to win.
Yeah.
Even if that means that they're beating themselves up, they will do whatever it takes to win. If there's not a rule that says they can't do it, they will do it.
And a lot of people complain all these rules, but it's like. What are we? We can't be racing these ridiculous. It can't get too ridiculous.
No.
Okay.
So anyway, we're going on a little bit of a tangent there, but we have.
I don't know how we got to that, but yeah. Oh, it was dominant.
Yeah. But anyway, so we have Darth comment of the week. You have the Darth comment of the week, right?
I did just find it.
Is it that gentleman that we've used before?
I don't know.
Oh no, it was this one. We haven't used this one. So this one is.
I mean, now you had one. There's a lot of with again we were saying with the dominant cars. The honorable mention to everybody complaining about Hendrick Motorsports winning, cheating, this and that, blah blah blah.
Because whenever Hendrick Motorsports wins, they're always cheating.
Yes.
Not like that. All the other 36 cars aren't cheating either.
Right. So, but I did come across this one that it's pretty darfy. So yeah. You like to read them. Yeah. So
I mean, you want to do it this week?
No.
Okay. So this gentleman. Yeah, oh my god.
This was under, what was the post? I don't want to lose that comment. I guess we could say it after.
Yeah, we'll do it after. I was there.
I think it was about Hendrick win.
We'll give two.
You want to give that other one?
Yeah, okay. So we'll do this one first.
This is one that Tom found a lot. They're on the same.
Yes, this is on the same thread. So this young whippersnapper says, "That was the worst race I've ever seen." Now, granted, this is the worst race we've ever seen. We literally had Martinsville last year, where there was literally no passing, and granted, William Byron won that one too, but there was literally no passing, and that was the worst race I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that was the worst race I've ever seen. Mostly because Hendrick dominated the race. It was awful. But I'm happy that 2 JGR cars finished in the top 10. We cannot have HMS winning every dang race. It doesn't give other teams a chance, and it bores me. What the heck is that? HMS being dominant? Really? You gotta be kidding me. I said anybody but HMS. But HMS wins anyway. It doesn't surprise me, and I don't like it. I know that I don't want Hendrick Motorsports to win today, but I want to congratulate Byron on winning the race today. The 300 cars were really driving their butts off today. I didn't like it one bit, but unfortunately, it makes me think that they might be tough to beat.
It's fun. It is fun.
And then, so that was the first one. And then now we have the next one. Here we go. When McReynolds called for a caution, it was... No! Oh! No! It literally just changed in the middle. Did you take a screenshot of it? Idiot!
I think I'm gonna find it. Yeah.
It was... Okay, here we go. I didn't even hit anything. I just...
I know.
All right, so we're gonna restart this one. When McReynolds called for a caution, you knew it was gonna happen. Sudi Devil worked for Earnhardt. 1 year, everyone knew about restrictor plate racing. Next year, Gordon, then Johnson. Tell me I'm wrong. Anywhere he is, it's to mess up racing. I don't know what the fuck I even just said. Words came out of my mouth, but that was not a sentence.
Was Larry saying something about a caution?
Well, Larry said, in the last couple of years, he always has his little
stats,
McNuggets, and he probably said, the last 10 races here, you have a caution in the last 30 laps. It's probably something he said.
Right, but that's
But it's the trends.
That's the trends. It's not because they're not doing it because
When McReynolds called for a caution, you knew it was going to happen. Sudi Devil worked for Earnhardt 1 year. Everyone knew about restrictor plate racing. I don't know what he's saying.
Why? What's got to do with restrictor placing?
McReynolds was the crew chief when Dale won the 500.
Okay.
But what does Gordon and Jimmy have to do with it? He didn't work with them.
No.
Darfs, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, tweet us at FunsPodcast #ACRP. We'd love to hear from you, whether you're stupid or not. We'd love to hear from you. Maybe I'll put this down at the bottom here. Funts podcast #ACRP.
Excuse me.
Anyway, so let's segue into the next segment. We have Phoenix next week, and I am not looking forward to Phoenix.
No?
I mean, I'm hoping this short track package can, make some stuff
this is
happen.
going to be the first time with it, right?
Maybe it'll downpour in the desert and we'll see some rain racing.
That'd be fun. Well, no, it wouldn't be heavy. It's
downpour,
wet.
but maybe it'll drizzle in the,
Wet weather. Our first oval wet weather.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Be nice. You think they could race in the snow? Like if it's snowing, like not sticking, but like if it's snowing, you think they would?
Yeah. If it's
That'd be cool.
Wet weather, but
That'd be
not.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it just starts snowing.
Because the cars would keep the track warm enough to not freeze.
If it was like to just start snowing.
Yeah. Right. Like that. I think they could keep going. Right.
That'd be fun.
I mean, it might be a visibility issue because
we get that.
I mean, you've driven in the snow before. You feel like
if it just starts and it's like a
warp speed.
I know, but if it just starts and it's like a flurry.
Yeah. Like imagine how fast that's gonna look.
It'd look so cool.
Yeah.
It'd look beautiful.
Like imagine the onboard cameras. Because I mean, it snowed at Martinsville last year, right? Or 2 years ago, whatever it was.
The snow delay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'd be pretty cool if they snowed if they snowed in a race if they raced in flurries.
Yeah.
I think that'd be pretty cool because you'd think the cars would keep the track warm enough so it wouldn't freeze.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's the whole thing of it. They even if it's like a light rain and they don't think it's gonna be a lot, they keep the tracks. The cars on the track to keep it warm.
Because I mean, it snowed last night and nothing stuck to the street.
No.
I mean,
that would be the wet weather that they would the wet damp track that they would race in.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that'd be pretty cool because that is wet weather.
Well, they don't salt the tracks, so like that's definitely one thing.
Yeah, like I didn't salt my driveway, but there was nothing in my driveway, so I mean it has to be cold enough to stick.
Yeah. And
I think those race cars would keep it warm enough to.
If they were practicing all weekend and the track was warm,
I mean, just dry the track real quick. You get it hot.
Mhm. Yeah. That'd be something.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a commercial of them putting chains on the one tire way back when. Yeah. So I think it was a Coke commercial, right? The polar bear.
Yes. Yeah. So we have Phoenix next week. Phoenix next week.
That's me.
Who's your pick for Phoenix?
I will just.
I'm gonna go Chase Elliott. I think Bowman. I mean, I think Hendrick Motorsports will continue this momentum with this win. I'm feeling Bowman.
I mean, Hendrick is dominant there. I got a lot of wins here. I'm not gonna go with Bowman though. Maybe Larson. My fronts pick, I'm going with my second.
It's Logano.
I'm going with Logano against. That's Logano for I'm done with Logano for fronts.
Till the playoffs.
Yeah. He's showing a lot of.
We should. Sorry, let me cut you off. But we should respond to that one guy that loves Logano. 2-time Logano. Just start calling him Slogano and see what he says.
Mm-hmm. Logano does show a lot of strength there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, his hair might add a little more downforce too.
Yeah, but I never I mean, yeah, Hendrick is just strong there, so I do see Hendrick doing well. I would go Larson over Bowman. My opinions on Bowman.
Realistically, do you think it's going to be a Ford or Chevy? Or you think like Truex is going to come out of nowhere and win it?
It's possible. Hamlin's in the spring is good there.
Yeah.
Clearly not in the fall.
No.
But
hey, maybe we should keep it at Phoenix.
But Hamlin is good there in the spring. I think he's shown some strength there. So it is possible that a Joe Gibbs car can pop in there.
Well, I believe it was Kenseth that won the last race, the last non-championship race at Phoenix, in the fall.
For Joe Gibbs?
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a while then. Yeah, I don't know.
That would have been 2019.
Okay.
Because 2020, that was the first championship race was at Phoenix.
Yeah. I'll say a Chevy will win.
Yeah, you think they're gonna continue this streak?
Yeah, there's enough Chevys on the track. But
so are we gonna get a repeat? So do you think, like realistically, like not who you want to win, but do you think we're gonna get? Let's see, wasn't You think like maybe like Trackhouse pulls the win off here?
No.
So you think Hendrick Motorsports is gonna pull off a win here again?
I see HMS.
I think Rowdy might do something.
I think we're gonna see Larson, Bush. We're gonna see the regulars up front.
So you think we're gonna see the first team repeat win this year?
Yeah. I do imagine Logano being up front. Hamilton, the regulars, for sure. But I do think we're gonna get a repeat. Yeah. Bush is also strong here.
Yeah. One thing I want to add to Vegas that we didn't talk about.
Okay.
What didn't we talk about? What was a big topic last year? Especially at the 1.5 mile tracks. What's one thing we haven't mentioned all year that's been a big deal all last season? Like a big deal.
What? I don't know.
Tires.
There was no tire fall off. There's no loose wheels.
There's no tires exploding.
Okay, so the teams aren't putting them under
Something
pressure.
Something changed.
I mean, yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm sure, at Vegas last year, I mean, you had guys losing tires. You got losing tires at Texas. You had guys losing tires at all the 1.5 mile tracks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Except for Atlanta, because Atlanta is now a weird
Super
stepchild of a 1.5 mile and a super speedway.
So stupid. Although I do want the super speedway at Michigan. I don't like.
You're like, we have too many. Let's add one more.
Yeah. Atlanta used to have good racing. It was one of the better 1.5 miles.
It was, but they needed to repave the track. And
okay. And NASCAR
restore the track to like what it was, because they would have paved it. It would have been like Texas. Everyone would have fucking hated it.
Well, Texas when they repaved Texas when they
what's gonna happen with Texas?
What?
Everyone's gonna be fuck Texas. This fucking track sucks. Get rid of it.
It's gonna get worn. It's gonna get worn out.
It's gonna have a good race, and then you know what's gonna be on the slate for next year? Then to fucking reconfigure the fucking racetrack, and we're gonna be fucking right back at fucking square one.
Well, wasn't it when they repaved it? It was a reconfigure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't remember what it was before that, but they reconfigured it and made it worse.
I mean, they definitely made it worse, but I feel like they might make it more worse. If they reconfigure it again.
Maybe they'll add more banking. I don't know. Do we want more banking at Texas?
Sure.
It's very flat. It's very flat and wide.
Yeah.
For the type of track that is. Anyway.
My ADD is like fucking kicking in high gear, and I need to not touch that.
So, who's your pick?
Who's my pick? I think I'm gonna go Truex. Okay. I don't know why. I feel like Truex's name is just popping out to me, you know?
I understand. Who is your funds pick?
I haven't picked yet.
You haven't picked yet?
No.
I picked for the next 3 races.
I know, because you're a fucking loser.
I just know who I want.
Well, you're not the loser. Jill is in last. Which would be me, because I made it. Well, she picked Denny Hamlin. And then I picked Byron last week, and then I picked Briscoe this week, because Briscoe did well at Vegas in the fall.
Well,
that clearly didn't carry over.
Maybe I should switch my Coda.
The Jordan?
I don't. What?
What, the Jordan?
I don't know. Do you think he'll do good?
I'm gonna fucking use Jordan.
Fuck. No, I already said it first. Yeah, but
I already put it in. You didn't say it. I said it. You didn't. You were like implying it. I said it.
Yeah. I'll stick with Ross. I'm sure Ross will do good.
Yeah.
My pick for Coda, I said I'll pick Ross because he's got 2 good finishes in the last 2 times they were there. I mean, the only 2 times they were there. So.
What did he do?
Got to be
2
safe.
years ago.
I think he got a top.
He was still with Chip Ganassi then. And that was the rain shortened race, and that was the fucking.
I think he got a top 10. I looked at it.
Hold on 1 minute as we look up.
Because it's one thing for
of the Americas. Just sounds so prestigious. This one. I know Chase won that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fourth.
Yeah. So
Okay.
obviously he's got to be there.
Yeah.
What, rain or not. So I feel like that's a safe pick.
Oh yeah.
So I went. Yeah, that's why I went with Ross.
So I think it's about time we start winding down this episode. What's that? Oh, DVP, crash. Remember fucking Quinn Half?
We got his autograph. I have his autograph.
Yeah, I have it somewhere too. I don't know where it is.
I have it right. It's right up there. I can't get out from where
He
I am.
fucking sucked.
I know.
He was terrible.
Didn't he get a win?
No.
No.
He didn't win. Oh, so we're talking about fucking Matty D. Matty D has wins. Fucking Quinn Half has absolutely nothing. 0 wins in the Cup Series. 0 wins in Xfinity. 0 wins in Arc and
2
Menards.
top 10s.
0 wins in K&N Pro East.
He's got nothing.
He has 2 wins in the Cars Pro Late Model Tour. 2 wins. That's it. Good riddance, Quinn Half.
Mm-hmm.
Cody, hopefully you're next. Hopefully your dad decides to just sell it, and maybe Junior can come in and make something happen of that fucking charter, because it is a sad. We need the 36 best cars out there.
For sure.
That's what we need. But anyway, on that note, this has been episode number 5. Episode number 5 of the Armchairs Racers podcast. I am your host, Tommy Joe, alongside my co-host here,
Alex Reckless.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Tweet us at Funds Podcast, #ACRP.